We just hunt for more and more knowledge. What has to happen when we actually get that knowledge? We have to bring it inside of us and do the inner work so that we actually use the knowledge that we have, so that we can take action. There's people suffering from a lack of self-worth, a lack of confidence, a lack of belief in themselves, and their inner story is limiting and they end up getting stuck. They allow their fears to take hold. It's almost as if this ivy grows over them, strangulating them, and they get themselves well and truly trapped. They procrastinate. They spend a lot of time not taking the necessary action. They know they need to do these things, but they end up not doing it because of the self-worth issues and the lack of confidence. And of course, this fuels them to procrastinate more, knowing that they've spent sometimes thousands of pounds on programs and books. They then have this guilt pang and feel bad for not taking action. So what do? Go and buy another course on how to manage their guilt. So they're lost in this cycle of limiting beliefs, out-of-date mindset, stuck. Being an entrepreneur in this world that is moving so incredibly fast requires us to continually update our thinking, continually update our insights, and updating the narrative that we hold. So often though, they're in a space where there's a lack of support. People are setting up businesses and they end up taking on a ton of roles just to keep themselves afloat. Many people know this. Not only do they end up being CEO and managing director, but they also become chief financial officer and head of HR and head of sales. So there are all these roles and it can still be a massively lonely place. And then of course, there are the leaders that keep running these sabotage patterns where they desperately want the success, but they get lost running these habits and these patterns that cripple them and end up chopping their own legs off. Many of them actually have some insight that they do it, but they keep on this wheel because they're stuck in the cycle. Sometimes that pain can actually become safe for us. We don't always realize that by repeatedly thinking and acting like that, what it's going to bring us. I see people end up in massive overwhelm, running their business and yet chasing their tail every single day. They get on the hamster wheel and they run really fast in a state of general busyness. They do a load of work and activity, but it still fails to take them forward. Until this mind piece truly cleans up, it's really hard to be free and unleashed. But of course, what they're still doing is going out and seeking more and more knowledge and more insight and fooling themselves into thinking that the answers lie outside of them. So I built the BTFI group to manage exactly this, to create that support network, to build that tribe where people have the permission to rock up and be themselves and be honest and ask for help. A community for people to share their own stuff where they can talk about having had a shit day. We wanted people to stay inspired. And we thought, how do we keep people on the tough days and on the good days staying inspired, staying up? We know that for a lot of people, they set themselves goals, but the real heart-centered energy for making it happen, the drive that's required, the falling in love with it and wanting it enough is just not where it needs to be. We have access to so much in our conscious mind, and yet 80 to 90% of all these habits and patterns and the intricacies of our system sit deep unconsciously. So we wanted to create this vehicle for people to better access that and to start doing their own deeper inner work. And how do we help people truly put this development for themselves in place so that they own it and they are responsible for it? What I believe is that today we have a program that does what it says, that serves its tribe, that adds immediate value and support. And this is what people need if they are to flourish and live their life on purpose.